and sky so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave their weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people above it all. We know it all.
Hey folks, welcome back. Save South Africa. That was one of the first songs we generated here for the program when I was in Gordons Bay just a few weeks back. Welcome back to the program. Busy day. I'm still uploading this short here. It's only 54%. For some reason, it's taking a long time on my phone to load here. Anyway, welcome back, because it isn't serial time. Anyway, there was a question here from Baba Yaga Strongman. If someone like my grandfather's 80 goes under the refugee status, is there any form of pension for him? And does anyone know where I could find out how this works? My first question to you, Baba, and it's not meant to be rude, but why should he get a pension from me? Why should I pay his pension? Why, as an American taxpayer, am I obligated to pay for someone who contributed nothing to this country? Now, that's not my sentiment. I'm just asking a question. It's devil's advocate. So yes, there is money for people who fall into that category. It's under Social Security supplemental. It's not a lot of money though, but it is available. And I've made a video on that months ago. It's on the indabaafrica.substack.com, or you can simply go to the refugee playlist. It's on my channel. Go to the channel, click on playlist, and find the U.S. refugee. Oh my gosh, my neighbor is out here cutting the grass again. Jeez, these people are demonic with their obsession with grass. This neighborhood, oh, it's insane now. They built another section over here, and it's just constantly, every damn day, because these people don't go to work, they've got to cut grass. It's just annoying. It's Sunday, so I get cutting on Sunday, but it happens all the time. It's very distracting. Anyway, so Baba, yeah, go watch the video and go learn about Social Security supplemental and Social Security payments to refugees and to foreign nationals. The problem, in order to collect Social Security, you have to pay into it for 10 years. If you don't pay it for 10 years, you don't get Social Security, but Social Security is a supplemental. So I've covered this. It's available, and my recommendation is go watch it if you're trying to understand it. Does that make sense? I hope that helps, okay? Hope that helps you, Baba. Okay. Yeah, grass cutters. They're worse than the damn car guards, man. They're everywhere. All right, I do have a little bit of news about the refugee program. People say I'm not talking about it. Well, I'm not talking about it because this isn't a refugee channel, and I won't talk about something if I don't have news to talk about it. But I do have news, and I have been sharing it, but people just aren't watching. I find it interesting that people say, you've been quiet about refugees. I've talked about refugees at least once in every broadcast, every single broadcast, even the ones that aren't about refugee broadcasts, and often share a lot of things about refugees. The fact that they're not watching my content doesn't mean I'm not talking about it. So, you hear that? Can you hear that? This is annoying. This wasn't happening. Thankfully, I was able to record my short without any interference before this idiot started cutting his grass. Hey, folks, just listen to President Cyril Ramaphosa give his address to the nation. No consideration, no respect whatsoever for any South Africans, making people wait 38 minutes before he showed up. So that video is on my short now. In the background is a hawk or a osprey over in a tree squealing and making all kinds of noise. There's these huge trees at about 35 meters tall on the opposite side of me, and they like to land up there, and I don't know what he was screaming about, but very, very distracting. I had a hard time focusing on making the video. I think I did all right. Hendo, Arctic, Francis Ruiz, Ian Moon, Ingrid's Inspirations, Angelique, Rolene Mans, Pam Dreyer, Karen Rabe, Mark Kennedy, Estelle Edwards, Ronald Henry, Pierre Enslin, Henry, Sylvia Ostoisen, Road Captain Kevin's back, Raccoon Sinkmaster, Belinda. Just checking if you know anything about the Post on X, about the news they have regarding refugees, which they're going to release in a week's time. Okay, that doesn't help me at all, Belinda. On X where? Who is going to release information on refugees? What are you talking about? Lots of people say lots of crap about refugees on X. So I need to know who you're talking about, Belinda, before I can comment on that. I can't comment on something I don't know. So you're saying that something is being posted on X. Someone claims there's going to be information on refugees released in a week. Who? The Department of State? The Amerikaners? The U.S. Embassy? Mohammed Lahar, what's up, man? How's it going? Rian 332, Endo's here. The Vesels family, welcome to you. Maria Furi. Okay, Elmarie Swart is back. Andre Mostart. Baby Boomer Dad. Okay, and then Mark Kenny, surprising the Colonel is not burnt out. He's so busy. I'm always this busy, Mark, and if I'm not here, I'm doing something else. Like, tomorrow, my day is unbelievable. Tomorrow morning, I've got a conference call with CNN in the morning. Then I've got the news. Then I've got... CNN's not in the morning. Sorry. In the morning, it's I've got the Institute for Race Relations in the morning, a private teleconference. Then after I got the teleconference with Institute for Race Relations, that's the news. Then after the news, I got CNN teleconference. After CNN, I've got to go. Where do I have to go? I have to go to some training for veterans tomorrow. Yeah, that's the 14th. And yeah, my day is pretty darn full tomorrow. Yep. Needs a vacation. He's on every day, and so far I've been watching him. Evan, I'm always on every day. It never changes. Okay, unless I'm traveling. Stressed out. Don't even know if a family with disabled child has been yet. I'm stressed out. Do anyone know if a family with disabled child has been called yet? So afraid of being left behind. Okay, first off, you need to stop fantasizing or putting yourself in a bubble. You're asking a question and because you assume something. Stop assuming something. Are you assuming? First off, let me ask you this question, Rolly Mars. Where exactly in your statement did you tell someone that you have a disabled child? Let me just show you how you put yourself in a ridiculous situation. Where have you told someone that you have a disabled child? I don't recall seeing anything on the statement of interest that says, do you have a disability? Do you have a disabled family member? Is there something on it? Did you change it that I'm not aware of? So you're putting yourself in a box for no reason. Stop it. It's stupid. It does you no good. It isn't germane. And even if it was germane, there's nothing you can do about it. So why worry about it? I don't recall seeing anything in the statement of interest that asks for your whether you're able-bodied. And I've been talking about able-bodied people and people who are not able-bodied for the entire time. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to keep my mind off things by going day to day. Okay. The walking history is like that. Thank you, Loretta. I know, but here, in this place, disabled people are always thrown aside. Well, this isn't this place, Rolene. This isn't this place. This is America, a real fucking country, not South Africa run by a cabal of lunatics. It's a real country. You need to. This is part of the whole problem with all this stuff. Well, we don't trust it. It's been too long. Seriously, not you, Rolene. This nonsense spread by South Africans. Well. First off, not even entitled to anything. This is not a rude statement. I'm just being upfront with you. What makes you think you're entitled to come to America? None of you are. No Somalis, no Congolese, no Pakistanis, no Haitians, nobody. Nobody has an entitlement to come here. It's a generous gift the United States gives. So let's get that straight. Okay? So these demands and expectations taking too long. It takes as long as it takes. It takes as long as it takes. And for people, you've got to stop this nonsense in South Africa of making supposition. Well, I haven't heard anything, so that must mean this. Go back to the statement of interest. What did you put on there? The one that always gets me is, well, I said my family members don't have passports. Does that mean they're ineligible? Why do you come up with this? The purpose for asking for passports is so they know if you're ready to go and a moment's notice. And then they ask you, they further state, are you able to go in 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12 months? When can you go? Some people say they have no passports, so they're ready to go in 90 days. Well, they'll talk to you and interview you because obviously everything else is ready. You just have to wait for passports. But the U.S. government doesn't control home affairs. U.S. government also doesn't control the departure from South Africa. That's done by South African immigration. And you have to have a passport to leave the country. So, guys, stop putting yourself in boxes. Stop getting yourself worked up over nothing. You have no control over the process other than what you tell the U.S. government. The only control you have is fill out a statement of interest, answer the phone or email when you get it, fill out the forms they ask you to fill them out honestly. When you're called for an interview, whether it's telephonically or it's in person, give your interview, be honest and forthright, and show up when you're told to show up. That's all you have control over. Worrying about other things, well, my husband's colored. Does that mean I can't go? Well, first off, color folks do qualify. My husband's black. Does that mean he can't go? No, it doesn't mean you can't go. If you're the racial minority suffering unjust discrimination and your offspring are, or you, then they can go. They're not going to break up nuclear families. Only South Africans are going to break up nuclear families because they don't want to go. Okay. You're welcome, Nicey. There are no dumb questions, only really stupid ones. Okay. I'm not sure if this has been discussed, but I was asked to post it. What's that, Baba? The question you had earlier? Husband's epileptic. He's a breadwinner, the driver, the cook, the cleaner, the nurse, the dog, the cat feeder, and more. Yeah, Helen. Well, I'm sorry to hear he's epileptic. Geez, I don't do many videos to distract him. Haley Seneca, welcome to you. Lunar Zeus. Honestly can't wait to leave South Africa. Anonymous has lost all hope. Sorry. What a dreadful mess the country's in. Marj Arsalanian. I'm with you there. The Colonel has more respect than our president. He's on time. Well, I try to be on time, Mark. Can't always control it, but I really rushed for this one. And hopefully the short will get some views. Let me take a look and see if anybody's watched that short. We did have a lot of people tune in for a Sierra Posa, so thanks for that. Shorts is where I'm looking. Okay. It's got 246 views already. Okay, cool. Okay. President Trump put it butthole of the world. Let's hear any news on just waiting. You already know watching videos. There's news, Sandra. I'll tell you about it. I'm not sure what was shared Refugee program Friday. Please, can someone just summarize? I'm going to. If someone like me, okay, I already answered that, Baba Yaga. Okay. Why are people asking questions? Oh, that was me. That was me. Okay, so let me catch up here. Got some super chats, which I missed because we had the credits turned off. Where are they at? Because of there were so many people subscribing. Only one question again, Colonel. Any update on Cape Town interviews? No, Pierre, I have no update on that. No update on that. And I wouldn't worry about it. People, and the news is coming, but you're going to steal my thunder. People are doing telephonic interviews now. No! You mean we don't have to go? I don't know. Maybe not. But people are doing telephonic interviews. People have been called and they've given interviews over the phone. 40 minutes, an hour over the phone. Yeah! I mean, you didn't honestly think that 500,000 people are all going to show up in Joburg, Pretoria to do interviews, did you? So stop freaking wetting your pants over Cape Town and Durban and Uppington, okay? If you have to go there because they need an interview, then you have to go there. If they find something in your background that might be a red flag, then you're going to have to go there. If not, then maybe you'll just do a telephone. I told you guys over and over and over and over again. Do not obsess about the 59ers. Do not obsess about the PRM email. Do not obsess about the proof of concept. We heard right here on this channel the other day, Friday, Dr. Corne Mulder confirmed that the State Department told him that my description of what happened with the 59ers was correct, a proof of concept, and that it will not be the same for everyone else. Okay? So stop obsessing. Want to find out from you what will happen with refugee programs. I'm not sure after applying a few times on the statement of interest. Okay, well, first off, D-Vital, you're just pissing people off, okay? What do you mean you've applied a few times? You can apply once. Anything other than that's a waste of someone else's time, and it's unfair. Why are you multiply applying to the program? Whom are you trying to piss off, D? Do you want them to go? we're done dealing with this person. This is the sixth damn time they sent something in. We just ignore them. Is that what you're looking for? How could you apply more than once? There's only one time to apply. I don't even know how their screening system works. I wouldn't be surprised if the way Google Forms works, when they pull the data, they aggregate it into whatever system they're doing, spreadsheets or a database or whatever it is, they probably just delete all the ones that come after it if it has an email attached to you. I don't know. I'm just saying, why would you send multiple ones in? You probably haven't heard anything back because you keep sending them in. Amerikaners said on X that they'll have some big news. Well, okay, the Amerikaners, of course, we know that the Amerikaners are part of the Department of State. They're part of the Bureau of Population and Refugees and Migration. And of course, the Amerikaners are the ones who formulate U.S. policy on refugees coming from South Africa. Aren't they? Aren't they? What news do they have? And why are they holding it for a week? My chat is acting up here. Let me try to refresh it. Look, I'm not angry, folks, but it's just a little frustrating here with some of this stuff coming in. Please your time finalizing your affairs in South Africa. Make sure you have all your paperwork. Michelle Heath, thank you for the 28 Rand super chat. Haven't seen 10 colored Indians in the U.S. Well, are you serious, Pablo, Charlie? I mean, the vast majority of black Americans are colored in that sense. They're mixed race. There are no coloreds as such among American blacks. But Indians, are you high? You high? Silicon Valley has over 300,000 Indians in Silicon Valley alone. We're lousy with Indians here in central Pennsylvania. Tons of Indians here. They're everywhere. Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Tons of Indians in America. You're just making shit up as you go. Say hello to my wife and daughter, Bianca and Leonka. We filled in the statement on the 12th. We're waiting patiently. We're just conscious of our spending plan. You know, be careful about it. Thank you for the 140 Rand super chat. And hello, Bianca and Leonka. How old are your daughters, if I may ask? Are they little kids or are they teenagers? So that affects how I missed the whole stream. You didn't miss anything, Murderface. We just started. Daryl Matotis, people just get on with your lives. Stop stressing. Exactly. Got our passport on Friday. See there, Bets Corp. If you filled in the statement of interest and got your documents, carry on with your life as usual. Exactly. Murderface, I applied for refugee program 2 months ago and they've not come back to me. Well, Murderface, do you think this isn't? Don't take this wrongly, but are you more special than the other 70,000 people who send in statements of interest? Do you honestly think that in 2 months, a half a dozen people could address 70,000 people? Come on, guys. Let's get real. I don't know how many people work on this program, but there aren't that many. There aren't that many. And they have to deal with all these. And when people send in repeated statements of interest, all they do is gum up the works. Now, they have a process for eliminating those, and that's probably what's happening. You know, if you keep sending them in, you look like a troll. You keep sending in statements of interest for your family, you look like a troll, they're just going to take them out. Submitted my statement of interest a while ago and indicated that I don't have a passport. I got lucky and got my passport. No, do not resubmit it. Do not resubmit it. They're not holding yours because you don't have a passport. That's just for them to know your state of readiness. At the time you submit it, that was the state of readiness. You didn't have passports, but now you got it. So when they call you, I've got the passports. Come on in. Here's the interview. Okay? Or we're going to do it over the phone. Mad Max says, disaster in Kempner, Texas. The river surged 10 meters in 4 hours. Emergency crews are racing to rescue people. Wow, it's still raining down there? There's no rain here. Okay. Helen says, so true. We were so stressed we couldn't go because of passports. We have them now. And we have all paperwork. We carry on. Exactly. Exactly. Just stay calm, folks. Stay calm. What is this 6 weeks to 6 months? What is that? Oh, waiting time for passport. Now, you say that to be safe. That may be an average, but I know people got the passport in 3 days. Sending statement of interest more than once is like pushing into the queue at Home Affairs. Exactly. Please stop it. It's rude. It's disrespectful. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't understand why people do that. Exactly, Freya. Tell them you have a passport when they contact you. Great news for me. I've also managed to sell my apartment a month ago. Well, good. Lucille, if you happen to live in Gauteng, that's good news. Hard to sell things in Joburg. Yeah, just inform them when you... Yeah, okay, so I'd like to thank our beloved president for such an inspirational speech. Stinking is quit. What do people not understand? You apply and you wait. Stop applying more than once. Be patient, yeah. Colonel Sagan, 500,000? Whoa. That sounds just awesome. 500,000 what? What? People? Well, I mean, if you have 70,000 people, an average family size of 4, that's 280,000. And that was in the first 2 weeks after the program was announced on the 12th of May. By the end of May, the Secretary of State told Congress in session, in committee, that they had 70,000 people express interest. That was a long time ago. A lot more have expressed interest since then. Hey, Gemini, what's going on? Right, I think people are stressed because South Africa's system has no order. Well, they need to quit equating this country with their broken country. And then, and people getting bent in shape. I mean, the nasty emails that I get from people, Adrian Skeppers, thank you for subscribing. The nasty emails I get from people whining about the program and blaming me and saying Trump doesn't care. I'm sick of that nonsense. That's not happening here, but I'm sick of it. If you don't like the program, then don't apply for it. If you think it's too slow, then don't fill out a statement of interest. If you think it's only for farmers, then you're not a farmer, then don't go. If you think it's only for white people and you're not white, then don't go. I mean, I don't know how many million times I've got to tell people what the program is for. You don't have to trust me. Just go read the damn information. I've analyzed it. I've synthesized it. I've made it clear. Yet people still, it's. That's why Thea gave me this. The booger off bunny. Yeah, we'll go where and when required. Okay, Colonel, for interest, do refugees do the Pledge of Allegiance before they travel? No, they don't do any pledge. No, Mr. Echo. Okay, that's a good question, actually. Mr. Echo, thank you. That's a very good question. First off, you're not an American. You're not an American. You don't have permanent residency. We haven't granted you citizenship. We haven't welcomed you to the American team. What we've done is rescue you from your life being in jeopardy, your life being in peril. That's what a refugee is. Someone who's being rescued from that. Thank you for the super chat. Tanya Norkier, super sticker, 35 rand. You're being rescued. So why would you take an oath to the American Constitution? You're not an American. Americans who serve in office take an oath, judge of elections, colonels, lieutenants, justices of the peace, Supreme Court justice, members of Congress. And the other people take an oath of office, or not oath of office, oath to allegiance is naturalized citizens. You cannot be a naturalized citizen or refugee. Not for 5 years anyway. After 5 years, you can apply, and if you got a clean record and you pass the test and everything's good to go, copacetic, you can become American citizen. Takes time. No, you wouldn't take an oath. That's a very good question, Reno. Thank you for asking that question. I've not heard that question before. No, you don't take an oath. You owe no loyalty or fealty to us. You owe us nothing. Coming here as a refugee, you owe America nothing other than obey our laws. That's it. That's all we ask. Obey our laws, and if you're capable of working, get off your bum and go work. That's all we ask of you. Yep. That's a good question, Mr. Echo. Thank you. Stop sending multiple statements of interest. Yep. Waited 1 week and 3 days for passport. There you go. See? My chat is way behind again. When doing the statement of interest, should each household submit one or one person can submit interest? No. Okay. No, Kelsey. Okay. No. Submit a statement of interest for the head of household. If you're a husband and you have a wife, not partner, wife, a wife, 3 kids, and a grandparent. So that's how many people. Is that 6? Well, the head of household counts, the spouse counts, the 3 kids count, but the grandparent doesn't count. Now, you can put them on your list of family members, but they must file a statement of interest. Anyone over the age of 18 must file a statement of interest, unless they're your married partner. If they're not married partner, if they're married spouse, if it's a married spouse, then you can put them on. You don't have to submit it. But if you've got your grandparents living with you, or your parents living with you, and you've got a 21-year-old child living at home, a 19-year-old child, they have to fill out their own statement of interest. But include them on yours. It doesn't mean they're going to go with you, though. It's just a way to inform them that you have a larger family. Because look at it this way, okay? You submit your statement of interest in the computer, okay? And you don't put your 19-year-old kid on there. Now, you're not required to, and you shouldn't normally, but the reason I'm telling you to do it is put them on there, because you submit it, and then your 19-year-old does what they're supposed to do, and they submit one. Who knows if these two things come together? Who sees them? Could be different investigators. You do an interview, and they're like, oh, you don't mention your kid. Well, then you go, and the kid doesn't go. Or the kid gets it, and the family doesn't go. So mention them on there, but if they're of age, they have to do it themselves. The only exceptions to that is if you're a legal guardian of someone who's over the age of maturity, which is 18, not 21. 18 is the age of maturity for the United States. Kalzi, I hope I answered your question there, okay? I said when I asked when you can go, I said 6 months I had to apply for passport. I had not heard from them, but I do accept they took note of that point. Possibly. No one needs to listen to anyone other than the Colonel, says Dan, okay? Everybody needs to do is what the Colonel and follow his videos. You won't miss anything. Oh, Traveler, it's not repetitive questions. It's the repetitive questions we've talked about. I've been getting repetitive questions for 5-6 months now. 5 months. It's been going on and on. I've answered hundreds of thousands of questions over and over again. I've made the videos and people still don't watch them. They get frustrated. And I can tell you people aren't watching because I can see the stats, how many people watch it. I can answer the same question 50 times in one of these Sunday streams, and I'll go watch, and there might be 1 or 2 new views on a video. And referred people answering the same question. It's not that I'm frustrated with that. I'm frustrated with people blaming America, whining about America, complaining. This isn't fast enough. 1,000. Well, screw that. There's 6 million of us. You know, I don't really have any sympathy for you. I have no sympathy. On February 6th, you had no hope. You had no offer of anything. Donald Trump is making an open offer, offered a window of opportunity for people to get the hell out of Dodge. And it costs you nothing. And people are looking at gift horse in the mouth. And they don't want to lie about everything. Oh, well, this didn't happen. That didn't happen. Well, then don't believe it. It's your prerogative. It's not mine. Not my prerogative. Mr. Echo, time is our only limiting factor. Thank you for yours. You're welcome, Mr. Echo. It's the most precious thing we have other than our offspring and spouses. Yep, cool beans. Julia, sending a statement of interest is like, jumping line home first. You are frustrated because you have to constantly repeat yourself. People just must watch. Well, they just listen would help too. Henty Bosoff. Yes, PNN, you need a passport. Been said a million times. Why do people think you don't need a passport to leave South Africa? When have you ever left South Africa without a passport legally? You need a passport to leave South Africa. We don't set that rule. We don't make that up. South African government does. Mr. Mulder, share the refugee contact person's number. I don't think so. But it was a Friday. He's a busy guy. Unabridged can be sent over, but you need to write a letter according to Home Affairs. I'm not sure what that's all about. My passport has taken over a month already, says Charles. But you live in Durban, man. What do you expect? Unable to find work, but I'm kind of at a peace with everything, says Liesel. PNN 90 says it's expensive. No, it's not. The passport costs $30. That's nothing. And I don't want to hear a sad story that, I have no money. You can't go stand on the street corner and beg for $30 for 600 Rand? Then you don't want to go. Do you smoke? Can you do without cigarettes for a week? Do you drink? Can you go without Casa Lager for a week? It's not expensive. It's $30. $30. 600 Rand. That's it. It's not expensive. We dealt with people saying that for months on end. If you don't agree with me, if you think that's too expensive, well then, the problem here is that, as the Afrikaners, as the Boers like to say, in Boer maak 'n plan, a lot of people not making plans, a lot of people just moaning about stuff. So, look, I don't want to sound unsympathetic, but we've heard this a million times. And I've had several of my members buy passports for people. They pay for their passports. Rather play it safe to ensure I have all my documents in line. Okay. My passport cost $180, plus I had to pay extra because they dicked around with it and didn't get it here in the prescribed 4 to 6 weeks. It was 8 weeks, and I had to get it so I could fly to South Africa for the election last year. I had to pay extra to get it here. Yeah, if Trump didn't care, there would be no refugee program at all. Patience is a virtue. Doing a passport through the bank reduces waiting time a whole lot. I don't know if that's true, but I know it reduces waiting time standing in line at Home Affairs and dealing with surly people. Frustrated with organizations like the Amerikaners acting as if they have special information. Just follow the official channels. Yeah, I'm not going to speak ill of any organization like the Amerikaners, but what I'm saying is that, are they in the State Department? What's the special information they have? And why are you holding it? I don't, folks, I don't sit and hold any information I get about the refugee program unless I'm not allowed to release it because I've got it from an official source that says you can't share this. I don't hold anything back. I don't know why anybody would hold anything back. Yes, I do think the program will be ramped up after October 1st. More resources will be allocated because the money for the refugee relocation program has now been approved in the budget, which was in the big, beautiful bill. It's been ages since we've had a damn bill approved. So Trump has got a budget approved. We have a budget, 1 October. There'll be no shutdown of government. There'll be no delays. They're going to be there. And so I suspect that the pace will pick up. But the pace has already picked up. 59 came in the original cohort. Others have come since then. And more people are coming now. So I think it will pick up. I don't know if there's a cap on it, though. People haven't asked me that question tonight, but that's a frequent question people ask. Is there a cap on the number of refugees? Usually by geographic region or country or issue, they put a target. It's not a cap, it's a target. Like we didn't have a target of 162,000 Afghans in 3 weeks, but we got that many, courtesy of Joe Biden's idiotic foreign policy. For more emotion from AI compared to that neutered speech from Scroll Ramaphosa. Yeah, Alana wrote, I agree with you on that, being frustrated by organizations. Do you think the program will be ramped up after October 1st? Okay. If my son is working in H2A, would he be able to apply for his refugee status? Melinda Aspeling, nobody knows the answer to that. I've not heard from a single person that's in that situation. I've heard from many people asking me what they should do. And my advice to them is that you are not applying. If you're interested, do a statement of interest. He's not an immigrant to America. He's not a permanent resident of America. He's on a temporary work visa. The only challenge is they may expect him to come in for the interview, okay? So if he wants that, then he should do it. H2A is not guaranteed, and H2As are coming under scrutiny. So those H2A visas will either be expanded or reduced in the very near future. So, I mean, I wouldn't, yep. If if your son is on a visa like that, my recommendation is put a statement of interest in. Hopefully they contact him, okay? Good question, though, Melinda. But I've not heard from a single applicant or person who's put in a statement of interest in who is on H2A visa. I've heard from hundreds of H2A visa holders, but not, well, hundreds, dozens, not hundreds, close to 100. Must admit that I'll miss certain things about South Africa. Well, I won't miss this refugee program when this damn thing finally ends because people are driving me bat crap crazy with this nonsense. Can't listen to comments, trolling, drawing wild conclusions in their head about things that have no bearing. Most of these have been previously, yeah, I've answered. Yep, answered these. There's been a few new questions here, and I appreciate them. Okay, Pete's going for documents end of the month. Passport, infamous footsec bunny. Yeah, he's right here. Fill in a statement, carry on with your life, your call will come. Exactly. Process is not the same for the ones or handled the same for all applicants. Okay. Stressing and obnoxious pushing will not help anyone. Just patience. Yep. Some are grateful. America's doing whatever they can to help. Yep. Yes, exactly, Art. You may have to travel back to South Africa for the interview. But if they're doing telephonic interviews, and that's what I'll get to in a second. PNN's passport expired last year. Well, you can't have an expired passport. South Africans won't let you leave the country with that PNN. Vander's asking me if look, okay, we don't, unabridged birth certificate is an alien term to the Americans. We need a birth certificate with the correct information on it. That's it. I don't know about what a vault copy is. I don't know what that means. Maybe it'll be okay, Vanna. I don't know. I don't have a birth certificate. I have a photocopy. In fact, I came across the other day. I was in the basement. I have a photocopy of my birth certificate. And that's what I used to join the Army. But that wasn't coming as a refugee to America. So I don't know how to answer that question. I suspect to be okay. I'm way behind on the chat here. Sorry, guys. Passport in 10 days in PE. Everyone waited patiently for CR's family press conference. Let's be patient. Wait for your turn to be called. That's a good point, Zombie. $30 to change your stars. Exactly. Napoleon Dynamite says $30 is nothing for you. Your passport is more expensive in the U.S., but it's almost the same comparatively. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. No. Not everybody has the same resource I have in America. Some people work for minimum wage. So it's not. No. $30 for someone making minimum wage is not much money. And Napoleon Dynamite complaining about it to me and trying to point out that I'm wrong is not going to solve your problem. The bottom line here is $30 is not much money. Stand on a frickin' street corner and beg for money. This is about refugee status. It's not immigration. If you think you're immigrating to America, you're not immigrating to America. You're being offered a rare opportunity to be granted in-country refugee status to get out of a hellhole that you find yourself in, you claim you're in. And if you're too proud to stand out there and beg for money or to talk to neighbors or to talk to family or borrow money from somebody to get a passport, and then here comes the next one. But I've got 5 children. You know what? You dipped your wick. Those 5 children are your responsibility. You don't dip your wick and knock up somebody unless you have the resources to raise them. That's what's called being a responsible human being is. So you're getting no empathy from me on this one. $32 freaking dollars is nothing. I don't care if you're unemployed and you haven't had a job in 6 years. $32. 600 rand. Go stand on the street corner with a sign. Werklos. Werklos. Does that hurt people's feelings? Well, are you serious about getting out or you're not? I mean, we honestly don't need people coming here who just want to be beggars. We need people come here who have drive and ambition and will do what it takes legally to get ahead in life. But that's not the conditions for coming here. We'll just take the people who are lazy too. Passports last week. Must ask, might sound dumb, but making sure. We filled out the statement, but we haven't been contacted. Oh, actually, no one. That's a very good question. Yes, my recommendation would be if you haven't been contacted by December on the statement of interest, let's hope you're contacted before then. That's a long wait, especially if you did it in May. Yeah, that is a long wait. But no one, yes, your son turns 18. I would suggest that he submit his own. You've already got him in there, so you get called, he's going to be on there. So that's not duplicating. That's not duplicative. That's a good question, no one. That's another good. It's like 3 or 4 good questions we got today. Thank you for that. Arctic saying just be patient. Well, in December, he turns 18. After he's 18, have him submit one if you haven't got one. But I think by then you should know something. Have you received any information that you can't share? Yes, I have, Jason, but I've got some information I can't share. I'm just trying to get through the chat real quick. A passport. Okay, yes, you'd hope the Southern government doesn't hold up passports. It's not great to begin with. Okay. Well, they don't look like they're holding up. It's just some offices are inefficient, some are efficient. Well, birth certificate's a different story, but passports are going, 162,000 Afghans in 3 weeks. Yep. How long do you think the program will be open for? As long as Trump is president, I think it'll be open for. The conditions to end the program aren't going to change. Will the South African government remove racist legislation, stop discriminating against racial minorities? I don't think so. And will they stop cooperating with Iran? I don't think so. If travel costs for a legit and documented service animal would be covered by the owner, same as a person would be for personal pet. Service. We don't know the answer to that on Necromentis, but I don't know the answer on that because your travel costs are all covered by you normally, and we don't even know the situation here. I haven't got the word back. It appears the U.S. government is paying for these people to come here, which isn't the norm. We don't normally pay for refugees to come to America for their travel. Normally, the International Organization of Migration pays for it. We don't know if that's happening this time. I believe the U.S. government's footing the bill, which is costing us a fortune. Every person's costing $1,000, $1,500 at minimum to fly over here. So do the math. That adds up pretty quickly. I don't know that to be a fact. That's my supposition based on what limited information I have. This isn't normal. So I don't know the answer to that. All things being equal, we would think that a service dog is a necessary thing for a person that has it. But the problem with service dogs, people have emotional support animals. It's not a service dog. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. If you have PTSD and the service dog is a service dog, but people have emotional support animals. Emotional support animals are not service dogs, and that's from that standpoint. I don't know the answer to your question, Neomantis, but you need to plan on paying for that pet to come over, okay, just in case. 600 Rand, okay, 600 Rand. No, not all passports. When you renew them, they cost more in South Africa. The medicals that are done, do we have? Nope, medicals are free. Medicals are free. Medicals are free. Medical's free. You pay nothing for your immunizations, for your medical checks, for your chest x-rays. We pay for that. Okay. Would like to email something. Footnote has loads of original graphics. Okay. Well, the email there. Can one of my mods put the email up? Appreciate that. Do you know if they contact people with past persecution first or no? That the Luan doing. There's no indication of that. I know people who've never been victims of persecution, but they have legitimate fear who are gotten interviews already. Snippets from South Africa. Thank you. Nope. That they're not. To my knowledge, they're not prioritizing that. But then I'm not in touch with the people doing the interviews. Tried to watch some videos to find where you talk about the location you'll end up in. When does that get decided? Well, effing crap. I've talked about that repeatedly, and if you'd watched my video, then you would have seen. So you go where they send you. You go where we have absorptive capacity, where we have refugee agents and money in place to help people adjust. And there's enough place. There's housing. There's jobs. There's space for people. We don't just dump everybody in New York, Florida, and Pennsylvania like Joe Biden did illegally. Tens of thousands of people, Haitians dumped in Harrisburg. No, we put you in a place where those resources are there so you can succeed quickly. You may be able to influence that by, if you have a job offer, if you work for an American company, if you have family in America and you want to be near them, those things you can tell that when you get interviewed. When you find out before you come to the States, because you're going to get a plane ticket, it takes you to your final destination. Again, people, thank you, Kevin, for your membership. People get wrapped around the axle with the 59ers. Oh, they all went to D.C. You're not going to go to D.C. There's no reason for you to go to D.C. You're going to fly to Atlanta or to D.C. because that's where the flight lands, and then you're going to go wherever you're going. That's how it works. Possible to transfer? Yes. I don't think so, Geese Brits. I don't think our pension funds are not done the same way. I'm doing research. The financial video I'm still working on, folks. I had a teleconference with a financial expert in South Africa who knows these matters, and we discussed it, and I'm waiting for some data so I can use that for my video. But I don't know how you would transfer your South African pension fund here. We don't do pension funds the same way. I don't know how it would work. The only way I think of is you liquidate it and you put the cash in something over here. Okay, you mentioned you might want to spice up your merchandise. Want to look at some of those extra graphics. Okay, thanks. Also want better services for that because I can't get stuff delivered to South Africa. 5 days, okay. Kevin G, thank you. I want to thank you for the information. Application was done 13th. Had a call, waited for the next step. There you go, see, wanted. 13 May's already had a call. So I'm getting there. I'm almost caught up in the chat. Hang on. Vera Kotza, renew my passport, $600. Okay, all right. Well, I was told that it would cost more, $1,200. Since Washington Colonel, I've changed my understanding of view regarding the refugee program. All I care about now is the phone call. Okay, Vernon. Martha's Vineyard. You're not going there. Rental message, people are not realizing the implications of going. It's not a vacation. No, it's not a vacation, Renee. It's not a vacation. And Australia also has their issues of not planning immigrant intake correctly. Housing is a crisis here. Yeah, Fisher. Well, we plan it correctly, but Biden upset the apple cart with his criminal activity. Passports in Gauteng, 700. They increase. Really? That's news, Murderface. Thanks for sharing that. Just trying to figure flights. No, I got you. Looking forward to being a country where I'll not be an alien. What a day it's been. Yeah, you're well. And Primal Board, it's been a crazy day. Okay, apply for a passport 3 weeks ago. When I had to collect it, they hadn't put the request through. Well, gee, many crickets. See, that's terrible. $1,200 for 48-page passport. Thank you, Steampunk Angel, for explaining that. That's the page, the one with a lot of pages in. Telephone interview in mid-June. Biometrics done. Came back clean according to the local vetting company. Already sent the embassy awaiting next step. So there you go. Juliet, November. You might find yourself in the States here very soon. Yep. So you'll get your medical and then get out of there. Someone got a call. Some fool makes a comment a few days ago that the program was put on hold. He said the embassy told him this. No, they're a liar. They're a liar. No program was put on hold. $7.25 minimum wage. It's $140, 140 rand an hour, 1,800. Okay, you can find a job. So it's the same comparison. Okay, Napoleon. You know what? You can sit here and argue all you want. It doesn't change anything. Doesn't change anything. So your point is that someone should just give you the money. It's too expensive. So someone just give you the money. Dude, stop. No, I don't think they make calls over the weekend, Sandy. Why would you expect them to work over the weekend? They have families and responsibilities. No, I don't think there'll be calls over the weekend. Well, Arctic says they call 24/7. That's news to me. Anyway, all right, so the news. All right, so let me just run through a few things. I've been contacted by dozens of people this past week, and I haven't even kept up with all the emails. Dozens of people. So I can tell you the following. I've been contacted by people who put an email into the PRM email before the 12th of May when the program opened up. Thank you, Sparadox 70 Rand. Thank you for that. And I've contacted by people through a third party, through some group on Facebook. I hate these Facebook groups. Guy contacted me and said, my member said that they were contacted and they were scheduled an interview. Interview was postponed. What do they do now? All right. In the meantime, I was contacted by someone else who said that they were in that PRM email before the 12th of May. They were contacted recently. Their appointment was set up. Then it was postponed, and they were called shortly after and rescheduled. And they've now done their interview. So my advice to the other person was just be patient. It'll happen. All right. So that's a situation that people sent their emails in before May 12th, have had interviews scheduled. I've also talked to many people who went after May 12th who have already received the request for allowing them to check in your records, the release, and the investigations are underway. And I've talked to people in the past week who have done that, who've done a telephonic interview. They didn't go in person. They did a telephonic interview. Then they went and did the medical. So you cannot get yourself wrapped around how this works. Stop it. It's working differently for different people. There are certain things that must be done, and the U.S. government is ensuring that's done. But it's not done in your timeline. It's not done in your fashion. It's not done by your, okay, check this block, the way you envision it, the way you want it to be. Stop that. Put your statement of interest in and respond accordingly when I get a hold of you. So yes, I've heard from a lot of people the past week, dozens, not a dozen, dozens of people, dozens of emails, dozens of WhatsApps explaining to me what's going on. We've seen here in the chat that several people have claimed that they have been called for interviews. I know that they have done telephonic interviews rather than in-person interviews, but I'm still getting people, oh, when I come to Cape Town, when I come to Durban. I don't know that they're going to do that. As I've said from the beginning of February, I would hope that they would do that. I would do that for every other program. But there's a possibility that you may not have to go for an interview. You might get a telephonic interview. There's also and then if I say that, oh, so they're only doing telephonic interviews now. Okay, cool. I didn't say that. There's also the possibility that you do a telephonic interview, they do a background check, and they're like, you got to come in and talk to us. Okay? Justin Cameron, thank you for your membership. Yep. Too long to copy and paste from Google. Difference between refugee and immigration. Friends, just type that in and see for yourself difference. Yeah, they mostly call during working hours, exactly, but that could be USA hours. No, I think most of them are cognizant that they're dealing with South Africa. Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, dude, you're hearing what you want to hear. You're hearing what you want to hear. You're trying to start an argument with me over a trivial matter that other people brought up. I'm not attributing to you you're asking anybody for money. Good Lord. Okay. Stop it. I asked you to stop it and you come back with another comment. It's not a lot of money. Anywhere in the world, it's not a lot of money. How do you handle your retirement and other policies? Do you keep it or stop it? Mandy Skeppers, not a stupid question. I don't understand the question though. How to handle your retirement? What policies are you talking about? I don't understand. Please ask your question in a more direct manner, Mandy. Thank you. Confirm we know a family who will soon be on their way. Yeah, Rex, I'm sure. And I've got content creators in South Africa saying there is no proof that anyone else has gone. You know what? If people want to say that, I can't control them. I have no control over what other people say or what other dingbat analysis they come up with. All I can tell you is that I've been in contact with people who are in the States who came over in multiple iterations since then. And if they don't believe me, they want to call me a liar, then that's their problem. I have nothing to gain from this. Nothing. This is taking a lot of my time to do this on a Sunday. I have other things to do, and I'm here for you all to answer questions as best as possible. I've been accused of telling people what they want to hear in this program. That's nonsense too. Earlier today, I was called a hypocrite because I use AI to generate songs for lyrics that I come up with. Why? I never said that it wasn't AI. I never said don't. Maybe the point is that they said that I'm a hypocrite because I don't like AI. I don't like self-aware AI. I'm concerned about giving control of defensive vehicles, armaments to AI, and AI making decisions. And I've pointed out, making songs and making graphics, I've been honest about that from the very beginning. I only use AI for that, and I wasn't even using it for making songs until recently. It doesn't make me a hypocrite. It makes me honest, but I was called a hypocrite earlier. Password expires in October. Only paid $600 renew. Okay, well that's cool. Then it's the 1,200, the 48-page one that costs $1,200. Sparrow Docs. I can't find my birth certificate, but I have my passport. Do I need both? I already have an online job for 4 years, way above the U.S. average. Does this put me at a disadvantage? No. Okay. All right. Sparrow Docs. Fair question. It doesn't matter whether you're Johann Rupert or you're jobless. Your station in life, your wealth or lack of wealth, your physical impairments or lack of physical impairments do not matter for refugee. This is not immigration. It's not immigration. As far as needing a birth certificate, my understanding is you need a birth certificate to apply for permanent residency. But not everyone has a birth certificate. Erica doesn't have one. She was born in Katanga, in the Congo, to Belgian parents. There's no record of that. There's no birth certificate. They fled to South Africa when she was a little girl. Moise Shombe helped them escape. There's exceptions to every program, but you should make a good faith effort to get these documents. I can't tell if it was a showstopper. They'll be able to tell you that because they'll know the federal or the situation when applying for, because applying for permanent residency is not a state competency, it's a national competency. So the State Department should be able to answer that question when you get interviewed. I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it. Make a good faith effort. Okay? Sparrow Ducks, thank you for the 140 rand super chats. Very kind of you. I may have forgotten the answer to this call. When they cannot, will they be from local? Okay, Jason Bernard, I don't know the answer to that question. The Amerikaners have made a claim. And this is what's frustrating me. There are a lot of people in South Africa who I'm assuming are talking to the Amerikaners and telling these things. They haven't told me these things. So I have no reason to doubt the Amerikaners. Amerikaners have claimed in a release a while back that you're being called from America and it's being routed through a switchboard, which means you have a local South African number for someone coming. I have no reason to doubt that. It makes all the sense in the world. But I'm puzzled why not a single person has contacted me and said that's the case. I don't know why. I don't know why. My audience is not smaller than Amerikaners. My Twitter account is the same size. I have 12,000. They have 12,000. So I believe what they're saying, but I'm curious why nobody's told me that. So I believe that to be the case. But it raises questions in my head, not about Amerikaners, but about why no one's contacted me. It might be trolls, ignore them. Yep, there's reasons why things are not seen in stone yet, not according to specific protocol. Yep. I'll be bowing out, says the traveler. Take care. Yeah, you could potentially get your birth certificate later on. So if you need to apply for permanent residency, you're not going to need it, in theory, to come to America. You just have to go through South African immigration, arrive in America, go through U.S. immigration with your passport, go to your destination. And if you've already applied for it, then you wait for it. It's be sent wherever you ask to be sent in South Africa, and then someone's going to have to get it to you. If it takes a year, it takes a year. Don't stress. Don't stress. You can't apply for permanent residency till that first year, either during or the end of that first year anyway. So what are you worried about? Just don't stress, okay? Unemployed. I had help. My good friends who now became my family to get my... There you go. See, Samantha? See, Samantha? You give an example. You reached out to someone else. When they call, not cannot. I have no idea what Jason's saying. Yeah, phone your broker about retirement policies. That's good advice, Madeline, if you have a broker. What they don't have proof of is anyone being denied. Exactly. No one has proof of anyone being denied. No one. I'm not aware of anyone. You're welcome, but virtual escape. D says, I got a brand new passport on a bridge certificate, smart ID card. Oh, congratulations, D. Rihanna says, breathe. Breathe? What are you talking about? Breathe. Gosh, you guys, you don't know what angry is. You don't know what upset is. Hey, Ernst, take care. Change your bank details to U.S. details. If that doesn't work, pay it out and transfer it. Yeah, nobody needs that many pages if you're a refugee. You don't need 48 pages. 8-meter rubber duck. Huh? Sail at sunrise. Good luck with that. You talking about a Zodiac? How do we tell if we get the call? Oh, Lynn, okay. Well, you can send me an email. One of the moderators put the email up there recently, or you can send it to me if you see me on the WhatsApp or Telegram. You can send me something. But Telegram, I tend to miss those because I get dumped in all these groups without my permission. But yeah, you can contact me. That's great. That's most people reach me through the email. They're telling me this stuff, Lynn. So yeah, can one of the mods put the email up there very quickly? I'd appreciate that. We were called by a U.S. agent routed through local cell phone numbers. Missed the first one. They called from a different one 30 minutes later. There you go. Thank you, Juliet November. There you go. And that's what the Amerikaners said. But no one told me this. Juliet November, you're the first person to tell me that. I don't know who you are, but I take your word for it. The Amerikaners, people told them that, so they put that out there. And that's when I referred people to their website when they said that, because I don't have that information. No one's ever told me. You're the first person to mention it to me. That's the first instance anyone telling me that. Yep, it makes sense. It's plausible, and that makes sense. They call the embassy. See, guys, what you have to understand is phone calls cost money. But we have a phone system that costs nothing. We have a global phone system for the U.S. government, for the military, and for the embassy, and they're able to place calls. So they place the call through the embassy, and then the embassy places a local call through the switchboard. Simple as that. People only agree with things they want to hear. That's called selective hearing. You're right, Leanne. You're right. You're right. I get a lot of selective hearing. Yep. Trump currently watching Chelsea versus, who cares? Life policy, if I'm approved, do I cancel it? Leonie Richard, don't cancel anything. I wouldn't cancel anything until you learn more about how that transfers, if it can't even transfer. You might even be able to sell it. You don't know. What happens if I filled in a statement of interest, my husband fall into me as I'm the main applicant? Will that affect my application? I don't understand your question, Sharon. if you're the head of household, that's fine. So, hey, Tabiso, thank you for your patience and kind help. It's helped my wife and I during these times. You're very welcome, Tabiso. C'est un plaisir. Quel beau. Tabiso, one of the cool names. I love Tabiso. One of the guys we talked to is Tabiso Morabantua from the Forum for Democrats up there in Zairust. Where are your parents born? Okay, parents South African. Okay, I'll be so proud to be in the USA, says Liesel. Colonel has been honest about this program since day one. Others want to claim fame, but they lack because Colonel has safety first. Yeah, thank you, Mad Max. I think it's a good point, Mad Max. I just want to be clear about this. I don't want to mislead people, and I've never misled people, and I don't just glom onto information. Again, I just said Miss November is the first person to ever tell me that. That's one anecdotal instance, and I tell you if it's anecdotal information, but at some point, anecdotal becomes factual because you have a preponderance of information. Remember, as I said to, I think I said it to Cornel Mulder on Friday when I interviewed him, I could have gotten lots of fame and been incredibly famous, and everybody in the Brotherhood would have beaten down my door if I had released that video of my interview with Thea van Staden that day when I interviewed her. The day before she left. It was a Saturday. It was Open Place. We had the meet and greet. I left Open Place to go to this clandestine meeting with CBS News, the Dutch film crew, Newsroom Africa, and several newspapers were there. They all wanted to talk to me. I could have sat around and held court and pontificated and got my picture in the paper and been famous and had all these people come up. And I could have done all that. But I forewent all that to go interview Thea because she asked to come talk to me. She drove up from Joburg and met me in Linwood East. We got there about the same time. I was there about maybe less than 10 minutes before she got there. We got there, well, maybe 15 minutes because I had time to go set up and rent. And by the way, I rented the business conference room. I had to pay for that to do the interview because I didn't have a room there. There's nowhere to do it in a restaurant. We needed privacy. So I rented a room. I paid for that to do the interview. I did that on a Saturday. I could have that evening from Pretoria East released that video, which was ready. I loaded it and I put it in private. And I held it Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It wasn't until Monday when I was back in, was it Monday or Tuesday? I can't remember now. Anyway, when I was back in Somerset West and I'm driving down the road and I got a message from somebody in the States who confirmed me the plane had landed. Then I released that video and I surrendered hundreds of thousands of views, probably a lot of subscribers, and maybe fame, because it's not about that. The safety of those people is paramount. Unlike what happened in South Africa where they were doxxed, their location was disclosed so that people could harass them at the hotel. They were harassed at the airport, and then the media lied about the 49ers. There weren't 49, there were 59 because you can't count, and that became the narrative. But I protected them. I've also protected the identity of refugees who've come to America who don't want their face on camera and give them pseudonyms, and we've talked. But with all these people, I've had a face-to-face conversation. So, yes, thank you, Mad Max. I've gone out of my way to ensure the safety, to protect people. Because that's what a responsible person does. I didn't see your message, Loretta. Safety always first. I read something about being mandatory to have someone with a license to be with you in the vehicle for 6 months before you can apply for your license. Okay, ND3 networks, you misread something. Okay, let me explain something to you. Every state has a learner's permit, okay? If you don't have a driver's license, you get a learner's permit. But we're usually talking 16-year-olds, okay? That's 99% of the time we're talking about 16-year-olds. You get a learner's permit. So if you're 16, you can't get a license right away. You have to wait 6 months in most states. With a learner's permit, you have to have someone in the car with you who's a licensed driver. That is correct. But if you're coming from South Africa, you're not going to need a learner's permit. If you have a driver's license, you either convert it or you just go take the test. You're over the age of 16. You're over the age of majority. That's not going to be the case. So I think you're conflating something incorrectly. I think you're conflating incorrectly. I did not have a Pennsylvania driver's license when I became a resident of Pennsylvania in October of 2019. Getting old now. 2019. And so I went 30 days later after I was here for the requisite period. I went to the motor vehicle office, which is run by a contractor, scheduled an appointment, went there, in and out in less than 20 minutes, about 10, 15 minutes actually. Surrendered my driver's license. It was accepted. Didn't have to take a test. Went over, paid, The next window, then went and waited. They called me, took a photograph, signed it, took a photograph, put down that I was a veteran, confirmed that, and then also organ donor, and then the other thing was voter registration. Less than 20 minutes, in and out. It took longer to get to the station than it took to do the process. Yeah, so I think you're conflating things. I might be mistaken. Came here, did a written test, and got my license. There you go, Mark Needham, exactly right. Mark, are you a refugee or just someone that came to America? If you don't mind answering. You don't have to answer that. You can send me a private email. Mark, thank you. Yeah, some of the refugees are watching this program, and they know every day I answer these questions, and every week I answer these questions, and they leave me hanging when they have the answers. You're welcome, Cutmans. My pleasure. It's my understanding you will need to eventually cancel your tax residency. Yeah, I don't know how that works in countries. I mean, you can't cancel your tax obligation in America. It doesn't work that way. I can move to Russia, and I owe the U.S. government tax money. They'll come looking for me. We have an American born to one American parent. This guy's a Frenchman. Never been to America. Doesn't speak English. Lives in France. The IRS came looking for him 2 or 3 years ago. They sued him. They have a warrant out for him, I think, if I'm not mistaken, saying he owes tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxes because he's never paid his taxes because he's an American citizen. I don't know how they found that out, but they went after him. So you can't cancel your tax status with America. You can do it with other countries, though. In South Africa, you do have to cancel, yes. How many refugees do you estimate is left already? Sparrow, I'd just be speculating. I would say at this point we're probably approaching maybe 125, 150. But the goal was by 30 September to have 1,000 here. Remember, there's no money for the program, so they're scraping money around to get people over here. You know, you get grumpy sometimes, Chris, and I get snappy with people and not very patient with people as a whole. Thank you. 25 question test, which is very easy. Just make sure you know how the rules. Well, Mark, that's where you were at. It isn't a 25 question test everywhere. It isn't a 25 question test everywhere. That's where you were at. So bear in mind that every state is different. Every territory is different. They all don't have the same rules. So let's not make an assumption here. Let's not misinform people, okay? The Automobiles Club issues an international driver's license. You don't need an international driver's license. You do not need an international driver's license. You do not need an international driver's license. And it's only valid as long as your national license is valid. Most Americans have no idea what the hell an international driver's license is. They've never seen it. And law enforcement, if you have a driver's license, it's valid. You're good, okay? We recognize them. Just go. You got to get the local state one in the state you're in within a requisite period of time. I think Pennsylvania is 60 days, and I did it within 30 days. You're welcome. They cannot tax you if you're not. Oh, they can tax you, Lee. They can tax. You can owe. You can owe. Just make sure you end it. I'm waiting for court date for sole custody. Lawyer said this month for my 14-year-old. Everyone else's documents are sorted. Now I watching your videos. Okay, Angelique, good luck with that. I hope you get sole custody. Then you won't have any problems. But if you don't have sole custody and you're not a couple coming together, a married couple coming together, then you're going to need legal approval from your spouse or ex-spouse or the sperm donor or the egg donor to get that child out. So if you move states, do you have to apply for a license? No, Janine. You have to convert your license if you take up residence. If you live in Ohio like I did, although I haven't lived there since 1989, I had an Ohio license because I was in the military. Never change it. That's the law because I'm in the military. I don't have to change it. But if you're just a regular person not in the military, if you move from Ohio to Pennsylvania, you have a requisite period of time to convert your license. You go in and they just exchange it. And they'll do your eye test and, make sure you can still see. You should Google international flight restrictions, limit on KG. Okay, I don't know what that's. Are you talking about, Anna? I don't know what the question was. The question is about, crabs are at 4, but it only takes me 15 minutes to get there, so we're not done yet. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. I wouldn't worry about it. What you can take on a plane really isn't germane. You should plan on 2 bags of 23 kg. That's it. If you've got money to pay for an extra bag, but bear in mind, it gets expensive. When I left South Africa, in 2022, I had 2 bags, and it was with Lufthansa. Lufthansa was going to charge me $500 for a 3rd bag. $500. Now, I paid for a business upgrade, which turned out wasn't even from Cape Town. It was from frickin' Frankfurt back to the States, to Chicago, which is ridiculous. It's a short flight. I was aghast because I paid for business. I thought I got a 3rd bag. And the guy said, nobody gets 3 bags. You don't get, even in business class doesn't get 3 bags. And the guy felt bad for him and he just put the bag on. So I didn't have to pay the $500. Thank you for that. That was the guy at Cape Town. for Lufthansa in 2022. I just came back with United. United gives you one bag at 23 kg. One freaking bag. That's ridiculous. I spent a month in South Africa and I have one bag. One bag. So I had to buy a suitcase in South Africa, which cost me $138 at Sandton City, which, by the way, is not expensive. They were more expensive for crappy ones from Game in Cape Town back in 2022. I paid 2,500 Rand. This one was only 2,100 Rand. Anyway, so, and then I had to pay $100 by paying before I went to the airport. I went online and paid for it before I went to the airport. At the airport, it's like $150. Delta gives you 2 bags of 23 kg. It's a joke. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just plan on 2 bags of 23 kg if you've got money to pay for extra bags. And depends on what airline you fly with. They make the rules, not the State Department, not the U.S. Embassy. So, my brother moved to Texas from South Africa 2 years ago on a student visa. He had to do a written and practical test to get his license. He was 35 years old at the time. Neff, what did I just say? Every state is different. You don't normally have to do that. Well, written and practical, you say practical, you mean driving test? Villy says, can you imagine we all run away? This is my country. Well, Villy, most people aren't going to run away. What's your point? Why are you here? Okay. Is there a place to go look for specific laws in different states? Yeah, go to every state. Go to whatever state you're interested in going to. Not that you're going to have to say where you go. Go to the state, look up what the rules are. Every state has a website. pa.gov. pa.gov. That's what I want. pa.gov. pa.gov. Okay, here's the U.S. Here's Pennsylvania. Okay. pa.gov. Okay. Services. Okay. Agency director. Let's go services. Okay. Change your driver's license, photo ID. Renew your vehicle registration. Renew a driver's license. Apply for real ID. These are main things that they do. So that's how PA does theirs. You can just do change driver's license. Different state. Okay. Transfer a driver's license from another state, which would apply to something coming from overseas. To get a PA driver's license, surrender your out-of-state license must be valid or expired for 6 months or less. Then pass a vision test and fill out Form DL-180R. Proof of identity, residency, and your Social Security card. Okay? If you don't have a Social Security card, you click here. New residents with the right out-of-state licenses don't need a knowledge test. Okay? It tells you. So that's Pennsylvania. Okay? There you go. So just go do the research, guys. I understand it. So Maryland. Maryland.gov. Okay, here's Maryland. That's a neighboring state. Maryland benefits, Maryland One Stop. Okay, jobs, business, education, residents, state initiatives, latest news, online services. Here we go, online services. COVID, who cares about that? Business filings, COVID, business sales. Okay, let's go. Transfer out of state. ERI, there's license. Out-of-state driver's license, okay? It's not showing anything. Anyway, that's Maryland. So that's what you do, folks. Not hard. Alec, yeah, that's right. People forget this. This is my life. I don't get paid for this. Thank you for the super chats, but it sure as hell doesn't. Guys, I make between $250 and $1,000 an hour consulting for my skill set. So these are free services. And people want to argue with me and give me a hard time. Napoleon Dynamite has left because I guess he's been out of shape or he's just gone quiet because the whole thing about $30 being a lot of money. I'm not running away. I'm tired of doing everything. Yeah, Lee, exactly. 23 kg each. That's what I said, Liz. I didn't mumble. I didn't stumble. I said 23 kg per bag. United gave me 1 bag. Delta gives you 2 bags. And I think the second bag for Delta might be $200. Mad Max D.A. Lear Johnson welcomes the suspension, but notes the South Africans are tired of commission's inquiry. Yeah, he's right. Thank you for 35 Rand. Sparrow Docks, not important, but will I be allowed 2 flagpoles in my yard, American or South African flag? You can fly whatever you want in your yard. If you fly an American flag, there is flag code, though, and you're expected to have a light on it at night, or you must remove it at dusk. Yep. I don't see my questions to you, please. Happy Slappy, I've addressed you several times in chat. I don't know what you're talking about. What questions? Do you know anything about how to sell your house once in America? No, KZKs, I haven't covered that. That's going to be through a realtor, so I haven't covered that topic because people haven't asked it. But it's a fair question. That's a very good question. Okay. If you want to travel across the U.S., you can have a P.O. box or address, or do you need a home address? Well, you're going to need a home address for bank statements and official things. They don't like P.O. boxes because they're not real. It's not a residence. You have to have residence, prove residency. So, yeah, you have to have a resident address. But, you know, if you have a friend, you can use that, so if you trust. Trump is not deporting Elon. He never said he was going to deport him. He said he may have to go back south. Billy says, typical American attitude. Well, typical asshole are you, Willie? Typical American attitude. You can say hello to my friend, the Bugger Off Bunny, and no one asks you to watch the program. I'm giving my time here, and you're just being an asshole, so you can say goodbye. Take care of yourself there, Billy. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Tired of little shitheads like you. You can just piss off. I put up with your nonsense for 5 months. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Just take off, buddy. No one asked you to be here. No one asked you to be here. Typical South African asshole, full of himself. Yep. So here you go, buddy. This is for you.
Yeah. Go on by, say whatever. Hop to the left, Bunny's on the scene. Fur so clean, move sharp, he's mean. Eyes like fire, trolls start to quake. Mess with the bunny, big mistake. Take her off, Bunny, protect her a piece. Dropping through the chaos, never on a leash. Trolls come lurking, but they can't pretend. The bunny's here and it's the bitter end. Bugger off, Bunny, protect her a piece. Dropping through the chaos, never on a leash. Trolls come lurking, but they can't pretend. The bunny's here and it's the bitter end. Connell's right hand and ears standing tall. One thumb from the foot sends them through the wall. Carrots in the pocket, wisdom in his paw. Trolls see the bunny, drop their jaw. Bounce, 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 the rhythm don't stop. Trolls try to climb, but the bunny's on top. Guarded the garden, defender of the land. The bugger off bunny with the master plan. Bugger off bunny. Jumping through the chaos, never on a leash. Trolls come lurking, but they can't pretend. The bunny's here and it's the bitter end. Swift as a shadow, silent in the night.
Thank you, Louis.
Trolls meet the bunny, then they take flight. Ears like antennas, catching every sound. The bugger off bunny, king of the ground.
Power of attorney makes sense to sell a property for your real estate agent. Yes, Sparrow Docs, I did. Yeah, Bugger Off Bunny is on Spotify. Sorry, Willie. Sorry to see you go, but you're gonna be a jerk off. That's what you get. That's what you get. You get the Bugger Off Bunny, dude. Typical troll. Typical troll. All right, cool. Yeah. So I had an interview with Morgan from Pet Lift because we didn't know much about it, and then a bunch of people that want to take advantage of Pet Lift are little shitheads and lied about me in their WhatsApp groups and ran around and spread rumors about me, and they've gotten a PK. Those people, not Pet Lift. We gave Pet Lift a fair hearing. We listened to them. I'm in contact with her and also with Marco, who's in South Africa. And I've also directed people with money and resources to help them out, who were trying to help out, and also directed veterinarians in South Africa who are offering services for free. So I've been helping those guys privately, without any fanfare, as best I can. But yeah, when I have an update from Morgan, they're still working a package. So I still have questions about what they're doing. Anyway, but I'm still trying to help them as best I can. Hey, Ronell, what's going on? You give someone power of attorney of your bank account, you better have a lot of trust in those people, folks. A lot of trust. They're being convicted, but these schools for girls was too young to be placed. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about, Happy Slappy, about convictions. If you have been charged with a crime and not convicted, then you're not a criminal. If you've been charged with a crime and falsely convicted, you just need to be honest and say, I was charged, I was convicted. I have a person who was convicted of treason in South Africa and sent to prison for 5 years. They served their time. They didn't commit treason. That's a claim. He said, should I put a statement of interest in? Of course you should put a statement of interest in. If you were politically convicted and you weren't actually guilty of the crime, then why would you not put it in? Okay? If you were a rapist, a murderer, or a pedo, your chances of coming to America are pretty slim. Okay? So that's probably the only thing that's going to ace you out. Okay? All right, that's it, folks. I got to go. 15 minutes to get my crabs. Thanks a lot. Be sure to hit the like button. Hey, Billy, take care of yourself, man. And here's a little advice. Let go of your member. It's cutting off the flow of blood to your brain, and it's really affecting your judgment, just being a jerk because you didn't like what I had to say. You don't like what I have to say? Then don't be here. No one twisted your arm and made you come here. But thanks a lot, folks. I hope you found it useful, and we'll catch you again next week for the Refugee Kaffee Klatsch. In the meantime, I'll try to answer questions best I can at the end of my broadcast throughout the week. Cheers, everybody. God bless and have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.